Clarification to every confusion is Omowunmi Komolafe. She's the secretary of AULA, that is the African Women Lawyers Association, River State chapter. Thank you, Omowunmi, for joining us.
Yes, good afternoon,
Good,
Mr. Sam.
good afternoon. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can.
All right. So I think I will start from the definition of sexual assault. The coordinator of AULA already said it doesn't have to get to rape, that touching without consent and other things also qualify as sexual assault. I know that there are people in spaces where maybe they are the victim of some level of harassment, but because they don't know it constitutes harassment, they don't find any problem with it. Some people in maybe some corporate spaces would play what we like to call rough play. You know, the person is touching somebody inappropriately, but it's in the context of a joke. So, can you give us the spectrum of what constitutes sexual harassment or sexual assault so that there's an understanding first before we now determine who's guilty or innocent?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, sexual assault is every touch that is unwanted or forced. It is an unwanted or forced sexual act or behavior that occurs without the consent of the person being touched.
Okay.
It could be touching any part of the body or using an object, to touch someone, as long as it is unwanted by the person being touched, then it is sexual assault.
Okay.
Now, when we even say consent, it means the person freely agrees that, to the sexual act and says, you can touch me. You understand? But I think we also need to note here that consent can also be withdrawn at any time.
Okay.
And once the person has stopped consent and withdraws and says no, then any other touch is unwanted and it is sexual assault.
Okay. Let's take what will be considered a high-profile case study, and it might be the biggest in the country. The case of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. She accused the Senate president of, and I'm sorry, I'm veering off the focus, right? She accused Akpabio of sexual harassment because we followed that. And according to the account that she gave, what Akpabio had done, according to her story, we're relying solely on her story. Akpabio had made sexual advances towards her. Of course, he approached her asking for her to be his lover. And she clearly stated that it was sexual harassment, right? And then she went on to say he abused his power by demanding kickbacks, attempted assassination to life, and that he was stepping down on some of the bills that she proposed in the House. Now, let's take that. If a man makes a sexual advancement, I'm asking a woman to be my lover, maybe as a married man, or in a manner that she finds irritating, unacceptable, or, the behavior is whatever she wants to call it. Is that harassment? Is that sexual harassment?
Okay, now, yes, sexual harassment. I will say that as long as it is an unwelcome sexual advance, it can just be once. It doesn't make keep repeating itself. It could be a request maybe for a sexual favor. It could be verbal. It could be physical. It could be by conduct.
Okay.
That's sexual harassment.
Okay. Does it make a difference if the woman likes the man? In this case, beyond their positions. No, I'm trying not to downplay, the reality of this. But
okay,
if a man makes a sexual advance at a woman, even though it's not the kind of man that she should be with, maybe she's married and he's married, but she likes him, right? And she doesn't see a problem with it. What do we call that?
Where a woman likes a man?
Yeah, the man who is making the advances.
And the man making the advances likes the woman.
No, of course, the man likes her. That's why he went. But if she's maybe she kind of likes him, even though she does not accept, What do we call it?
Those are to put me in the fix. Yeah, she likes him, but any form of sexual advancement from him is unwelcome.
Yeah.
It is sexual harassment.
Okay. So the difference is her feeling towards the man.
As long as the sexual advancement, the advancement from the man is unwelcome.
Unwelcome.
She does not welcome it. Yes.
Okay.
If she
Okay.
consents to it, that means both parties do not have an issue with it.
All right. So thanks for that clarification.
You're
Now,
welcome,
we
sir.
have to take a quick break. When we return, we'll talk specifically about what Aula is asking the River State government to do. Please stay with us.
Thank you.
Okay. Facts, 92.3 Nigeria Info, Sam Chinedu. And on the fight against sexual crimes, women lawyers in River State are urging the governor to take tougher steps against convicted offenders. The River State coordinator of African women lawyers, Gloria Nuri Ohuya, has urged the governor of the state to begin signing execution orders for convicted sexual offenders in the state. And I have the secretary of AWLA, that's the African Women Lawyers Association, River State Chapter, Omowunmi Komolafe, on the phone. Omowunmi, thank you for staying with us.
Thank you, Mr. Sam.
All right.
Pleasure.
Okay, so let's talk about this request on the state government and by extension the governor. Begin signing execution orders for convicted sexual offenders. What does that mean and why is it important?
Okay, we start with what AWLA represents. And African Women Lawyers Association, Nigeria, River State branch, our primary objectives will focus basically on promotion, protection, and preservation of rights and welfare of women and children, alongside empowerment and professional advancement of female lawyers. Now, in protecting rights, we work to end abuse, discrimination, and all forms of violence against women and children, including harmful practices like child marriage, sexual assault, and human trafficking. Now we are talking about the here now. We're talking about rape, we're talking about murder.
Yeah.
Yes, we know murder is a capital offense that is punishable by death or life imprisonment.
That's right.
And it is an unlawful killing of another human being with intent to cause death or grievous harm. Now, we have made this call. It's to the extent that the girl was murdered. Okay. And for convictions in River State and even in Nigeria, they have had a serial killer sometimes in the year 2019 who was going around killing, and he killed about 9 women.
Yeah.
So it takes across years outside in Nigeria. I think Gracious, something, David.
Yeah.
Something West.
David West.
About.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
And he was sentenced to death by hanging by the now retired Honorable Justice Adolfo Senate in the year 2020. And nothing has been done. And we find women, you understand, being subjected to violence of every form. Yes, the instance, a case of the woman in Lagos, a lady lawyer who was also murdered by her husband. Now, yes, we have so many persons who have been convicted in River State. They are in the prisons. The court has done its own duty by convicting these persons. They are